Jai Masters. One of the deepest and perhaps most difficult for people to comprehend and get the grips on is called doership and non-doership. Very deep in the Zen traditions, the Buddhist traditions, deep in yoga, Sufism, the real deeply mystical teachings teach about doership and non-doership. If you look at it properly, it's obvious what's going on. So for example, what do you do to have a body? What did you do to get a body? Because the answer is nothing. There are 25 trillion cells inside your body. They communicate with each other. You making that happen? Your heart beats, you're making it happen? Your breath goes in and out, you're making it happen? Your mind has the ability to create thoughts. Not which thoughts, but the ability to create a thought. Did you make that happen? Your heart has the ability to create emotions. Not which emotions. Did you come up with that concept of having an emotion and create a heart that can emanate them? Yes or no? So you ain't done squat. No, it's very important to look at that. Your liver, you make it excrete. Your pancreas, your everything, all your organs, you're very busy, right? No, it goes on by itself. All right? Now, can it get sick? Can you need help? Can things happen? Yeah, of course. But that's not 99.9999% of all times in every single body. These things are happening and have happened from the beginning of time. And you didn't do any of it. But that's because it's not important, right? You should only do important things. Your heartbeat's not very important. Your breath's not very important. You get my drift. So you start off with understanding that that's kind of a little bit of understanding of non-doership. That not doing doesn't mean nothing happens. Let's go real slow. It's all happening, isn't it? Okay. What about this planet? You all got your views on the planet and what's happening and so on. Did you put it here? Did you make the planet? How long has it been here? Scientists tell us 4.5 billion years. How long have you been here? A handful of years. You didn't make the place. Did you make the trees? Make all the animals, all the insects, all the plants, everything? No, you didn't make any of it, nor did anybody else. No, there's these gardens, these beautiful botanical gardens. Where did they get the flowers? Where did an orchid come from? From that beautiful botanical garden? No, it did not. It existed long before. So you start understanding there is stuff that goes on, like a lot of stuff that you didn't do. And it's important. You make it rain. You make there be this thing called rain. You know, I once gave a lecture on, you water your plants, you water your garden. How does the Black Forest get watered? How does the rainforest get watered? These are massive things. You got a lot of watering pails, all right, sprinklers. They got an underground sprinkler system going on throughout all that? No. How does it get watered? Well, let's see. There's this thing called the sun in the sky, this star that's very hot, and it evaporates water. Did you make that happen? Did you make the sunshine? Did you make it be just right distance to evaporate water, to make it so that water evaporates? That the molecules of water can also turn into vapor if they go at certain temperatures, and that the vapor can raise up in the air and form these things called clouds. Did you make clouds? No. Okay, I see. I'm sorry. And then there's this thing called wind. Did you make wind? And it blows the clouds away from the ocean over the land. Oh my God. Then what happens? Then they drop their water. What water? I just told you what water. And that is your watering system. Did you ever think about it? Did you do it? No. All of these things happen all the time, and you're not doing any of them. You're the beneficiary, but basically this thing called non-doership doesn't mean things don't happen. It comes down to doing and not doing is not about whether things are happening or not. It's about whether you think you're doing them. When you see when it's all said and done, we're going to get down to that. You're not doing anything. Really, relatively, it's so small what you're doing is ridiculous. And it's like, what holds the atoms together? Why are there atoms? Did you make them? Why do they bond together? Who made covalent and ionic bonds? Who made those? You did? If they're not happening, then there's no atoms bonding together. There's molecules. There's no molecules. There's no anything at all. Every single thing. You see things sometimes. Did you make your eyes? Did you make your eyes be able to see? Make me an eye that sees. No. No, you can't. You can't do any of these things. It is a state of non-doership, but just reality happening. If you took into percentage what you think you're doing compared to the foundation upon which you think you're doing it, the stage on which you're playing, all of creation and everything, you're not doing anything. You're not doing .000000000 to the minus billion of what's going on. You're not. Anything going on in France right now? On a certain address, a certain road, a certain house, are you doing it? I get down to any level you want. You're not the doer. And what's happening without you doing it is phenomenal, isn't it? Sight, sound, taste. Where did taste come from? You didn't make it, but you're very busy about what you put in the taste, and that's so important. I don't know how to talk about it. It's so big I can't even talk about it. It's ridiculous. It's just we're supposed to be smart. We're not. We're lost completely. So we'll start with that as a foundation of the fact that just because you or any human is not doing it does not mean it does not happen. It's happening all the time, all over the universe. Right? You know my favorite saying, right? So there's this planet. You didn't make it. You're not sustaining it. You're not making the watering happen. You're not doing any of the stuff happening, right? That planet, 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. Well, what does that mean? So what? What do you mean, so what? It means not only you're not doing anything, but the planet you're doing it on is nothing. If it went away, that's a big deal, right? It is not. Nothing would happen. A couple of the planets would change their orbit because of the gravitational pull, but in the rest of the galaxy, nothing would happen. The rest of the trillions of galaxies, nothing would happen. It's meaningless. You shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. It's like it got created by itself. It's doing its own thing. It's part of 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun. The sun is a star. There's 300 billion of those suns, those stars, in your galaxy. 300 billion. And you're caught in this tiny, tiny, tiny way of thinking. You're not caught in a tiny place. You're on the Earth. The Earth fits inside the sun, and the sun is one of 300 billion stars. All right? You know that they used to say, where do you live? You don't live at 1505 Northwest 83rd. You don't live on the planet Earth. You live somewhere in the Milky Way galaxy. There's 2 trillion galaxies. Wake up. You are not doing any of it. It all exists without you doing anything. You sleep at night. Do the galaxies still exist? Does the sun still shine? I'm begging you, wake up. So that's non-doership. You're not doing it. What is doership? You thinking you're doing it. And that's a key word on thinking. You thinking you're doing it. You think you have to find someone to love. You think you have to find a good job. You think you have to find this. You think you have to do that. You're busy, aren't you? Are you busy? You're busy doing the non-doing. Okay? Well, you're busy ignoring the fact that it's all happening by itself. If you go in for a job interview, where did that person come from? Where does atoms come from? Where did the cells come from? What happened to him yesterday with his wife? It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. It has so little to do with you, it's ridiculous. Where did the building come from? Where did the building materials come from? Where did the architect... You just take for granted that the only thing that matters is me. And I'm trying to paint an ego for you. Ego is not what you think it is. It's not this boisterous person who's showing off. Come on, that's just ridiculous. Ego is what I just said. All you think that matters is you. And don't get embarrassed. Don't get ashamed. It is all you think that matters. Like I said, if you walk into a building for a job interview, it doesn't even dawn on you where the building come from. It doesn't dawn on you. You say, well, what floor is it on? Why? Because I can go into that person. Where did the person come from? Where did their parents like? Where's this? Where's that? It's all tied together and has nothing to do with you. In the new book, in Living Untethered, I tell this story. I won't tell the whole story because it's my favorite part of the book. All right? If your great-great-great-grandmother did not meet your great-great-great-grandfather, you're not here. And what did you have to do with those events? Or any of the subsequent events? Or how they met? Or anything? You're not doing anything. You didn't do anything. It all is just there in front of you. Where did it come from? You don't care. You only care to get the job. You only care to, oh my God, that I have some spinach in my tooth. Seriously. Okay? That I have a spot on my pants, or that I impress somebody. I, all the time. I, me, mine, the Beatles song. I, me, mine. Wake up. So the question is, how difficult is it to live on this planet that you didn't make, that's existed for 4.5 billion years. You're only going to stay here for 70, 80, 90 years. Give me a break. You drop down on this amazing planet, spin in the middle of nowheres, and you stay for a few years, and you leave. How you doing? Terrible. Every once in a while I'm okay. The rest of the time I'm trying to be okay, aren't I? And trying to not be not okay. Why? Because you think you're the doer. Because all you look at is me. Me. What do I want? What do I need? What do I not want? What makes me happy? What makes me sad? What makes me this? Every single thing, all the time. And then you wonder why there's stress. And you wonder why there's anxiety. And by the way, you wonder why you're not okay. I can tell you why you're not okay. I don't even know you. I don't care. I'll tell you why you're not okay. Because you did not create this world. You did not create the moment that's unfolding in front of you. It is the result of all the forces that ever existed coalescing together to create that moment. How many of those forces were you part of? None. A minute ago, the person was over there. You don't know what's happening. Now they're here. Ah! When they're over there, there's no problem. When they're in front of you, ah! And you wonder why you're not okay. So why you're not okay? You're not okay because you're here on this beautiful planet, spinning in the middle of nowhere for a few years. How can you not be okay? Let's say you send your kid to Disney World, and they come back neurotic. It was terrible. I hated it. The lines were so long, and I sat next to somebody in a ride, and I didn't even know them, and I didn't feel comfortable, and it was a boy or a girl, and I don't like them. And oh my God, that's a problem. That's what you did when you came down to planet Earth. Instead of saying, wow, look, there's trees. There's no trees on Mars. There's no anything. Right? Look, there's people. Look, there's things to do. Look, there's rain. Look, there's snow. Look, there's hot. There's cold. There's dark and night. And oh my God, how many things are there? You can't count them, and they're free. Don't they say that? The best things in life are free. They are free compared to Mars. Go on to Mars and tell me how you're doing. If you want to go to Mars, give me a break. There's nothing going on. It's just sand, and it's true of every single planet. It's either sand or dirt or gases. Go have fun. You won't, will you? I'm telling you, if you were on Mars for a little while and a roach ran by, you'd try to catch it to be its friend. Not to kill it or throw it out. I mean, like, wow, hello. So you have these amazing events. Which one? All. They're all amazing. Why? You did not create them. They're going on by themselves. They were created by themselves, and they're just gifts. They're just gifts you get to see. And by the way, how do you see them? Because you were given senses. Did you make your senses? No, they were part of the gifts. So there's this entire thing that your senses can pick up. There's the fact that you have senses, and there's this thing called consciousness that's aware of what came in through the senses. Are you? Oh, by the way, I forgot to ask. Are you in there? Where'd you come from? Don't you dare answer me because you don't have the slightest idea. You in there, who's aware. What is awareness? Where did it come from? Are you kidding me? How can there be suffering? How can there be stress and disturbances and all that? If you come back and realize, I understand, in a minute we'll get, nothing I'm ignoring it, okay? But if you get to the point of reality, which is you drop down from somewhere, who knows? I don't know. And then you live a few years, and every minute of every second of your life, there's something going on in front of you, exciting, challenging, interesting. Stop comparing it against what you want. Compare it against nothing. Remember the song, would you rather be a frog? Or would you rather be in outer space with nothing? Because that's where you are. You're floating through dark, empty space in the middle of nowheres, but you have all these things going on, and all these colors and shapes and sounds and sights, and it's an amazing place, isn't it? Okay? All right. So what is so hard about dropping down on this planet? Moments flow in front. You could stand in one place, the moments will flow in front of you. Nothing stays the same ever. It's a happening place. I said it's hard to talk about because it's so big and we're so lost. So you drop down, moments are unfolding in front of you. You get to experience them. That should be enough. When you go to a museum, doesn't mean you're painting and doing the thing. You get to experience beauty and color and different things, right? Life is that. You're experiencing form, shape, color, sounds, sights, taste. No matter which ones. The very fact that there are any at all is phenomenal, isn't it? And so you're here, and then it goes on, and not only are you going to just be here for a short period of time, that not only does it change all the time, but you change all the time. Talk about 10D chess, all right? It's like God's big, right? So your body is changing all the time. It used to be this big, about a foot. It used to be like, and then it grew up into this thing 6 feet. What did you do? Stretch it? What did you do to make your body go from when it was born to the size it is now? Nothing. You ate Peeps and smoked cigarettes and drank Coke, and it still did it. So every day it's different, and you're different, and because you have experiences, you have this thing called a mind. It gathers these experiences, and every experience you have makes the mind be different. You watch a movie you like, you think differently. You meet somebody, you think differently. It's so dynamic, it's unbelievable. It's the most interesting, fascinating thing that could ever exist. I call Earth God's idea of Disney World. So here, have fun, experience it, enjoy, and then at the end, there's nice to know there'll be an end. Don't worry, you don't have to stay. Not I don't get to stay, and we didn't get there yet. There's no someone thinking like that. You're just in here experiencing reality, which is phenomenal, appreciating that everything exists. Like I said, when you go in for the job interview, the first thing you see is, oh, I'm still breathing. That's a good thing. My heart's still beating. My blood is still flowing. Okay, good. Right? What if you had that awareness? You should get to a point where you go in that job interview and the person says, all right, what is your resume? And you're shocked that you understood what that meant. That you have, this guy made noises out of his larynx. And they went into your ears as noises. They're noises. And somehow your brain told you what it meant. That's phenomenal. You should be in awe, blown away all the time. Okay? That's what's going on inside. There's no stress. There's no anxiety. There's no sense of doership. There's a sense of, wow, awe about everything. Why? Because it is all awesome. I mean, is it not true that the very fact that I can make noise, that's all they are. They're not words. They're noises linked together. And that our larynx and our vocal cords are able to make noises so discrete that we can do all this. And that the noises I make go in your ear and you relatively, reasonably know what I meant. I don't know how you can exist in this world moment to moment without being blown away. It just blows you away that this is what's going on. Okay, and there's no doership there. You didn't do any of that. It's all your experience. You're just experiencing. And I haven't even touched, I won't slightly touch the fact someone's in there knowing that they know that they know. Okay? There's consciousness. There's awareness of being in there. Okay? All of this is just phenomenal. All right. So where's the beef? You have a brilliant mind. You were given a brilliant mind. You have a brilliant mind. You think, oh no, Einstein's brilliant or Elon Musk is brilliant. No. I'm not comparing Einstein with Elon Musk. I'm comparing you to a possum or a raccoon or a bird. Okay? They have minds too, but they can't do as good as your mind. You have the human mind. And the human mind is phenomenal, isn't it? Split the atom. It put the Hubble and the James Webb telescope there, can see the beginning of time. I am talking about it. Okay? That's just another gift you were given. You didn't make your mind. I don't care that you can shove stuff in your mind and repeat it. That doesn't impress me. What is the mind? Where did it come from? Why did you got one? How much did it cost? So you start catching on that you've got all these assets, you've got all these gifts, and you have a beautiful world, and you just have a beautiful life. Every one of you have a beautiful life. Everyone has a beautiful life. Why? Because they have the life on the planet Earth, the things moving around. Okay? That's what's going on. All right. So where's the beef? The beef is that when you drop down here from wherever, and I don't care, when your awareness of being drops down here into this body, it has this tendency, consciousness has a tendency to identify with what it's paying attention to. I'm going to repeat that to you. That's so fundamental, it's unbelievable. Awareness, what is consciousness? Awareness. It's awareness, it's aware. Can you focus on something? Can you look at that pillow instead of the rest of the room? Can you focus on a thought? Can you focus on your finger? Consciousness can concentrate, contract, right? Concentrate down and focus on one spot, or it can not concentrate and see the whole room or the whole field. Even using the senses, you can narrow it or expand it, okay? Consciousness has a tendency, we can talk about why, maybe we can touch that, we can talk about really deep stuff, we talk about why, all right? Consciousness has a tendency to identify with what it is aware of. Consciousness has a tendency to identify with what it is aware of. And the more you're aware of it, the more it identifies with it. The more you focus on it, the more that becomes your world. Why? That is your world. You're not experiencing what you're not experiencing. That's not your world. You're experiencing what you're experiencing. So your world immediately went from the whole universe down to what you're experiencing. It didn't really. It's really still the whole universe, right? But consciousness focuses on what's in front of it. Why? Because it gets distracted. Do you get distracted by things? So consciousness identifies what it's aware of, and consciousness can be drawn down to really the noisiest thing. If there's a real loud noise, you're out there listening to that. If there's a bright light, what was that? Well, what happened to everything else? You didn't see it because it distracted you. Consciousness gets drawn to the loudest, strongest, most powerful thing, all right? An enlightened being doesn't, because they can experience the entire universe without getting distracted by any part of it. I always tell you, in the 60s, we talk about expanded consciousness. No. It's not about expanded consciousness. It's about non-contracted consciousness. Consciousness is everything, everywhere. You don't have to expand your consciousness. You have to stop contracting it. So if you're sitting there staring at something and you get fixated on it, and somebody says, you need to expand your consciousness, you don't know how to do that because you're fixated on this. That's all you know. Stop staring at that object. And then all of a sudden, the consciousness goes out by itself because it's not contracted. You understand how deep we just talked about? That's Patanjali Yoga Sutra. That's what pratyahara is. Withdrawing the consciousness from the senses. That sounds like, I got to rip my consciousness away from my senses. No, you have to stop focusing your consciousness on the senses. Your consciousness has nothing to do with the senses. It's getting distracted by them. The consciousness exists without the senses. How do you know? Close your eyes. Go to sleep. Every one of you practice pratyahara when you go to sleep. People can walk in your room, they can talk. Where are you? Your consciousness is not being distracted by your senses when you're asleep. If it is, you're not sleeping. What's that noise? What's that? Oh my God, I can't go to sleep. Of course you can't go to sleep. Because going to sleep involves, more than that, but it involves the consciousness not being distracted by the senses. Because if it's distracted by the senses, you ain't going nowhere. You're staying right here. Isn't that simple? I told you it was simple, didn't I? No, so far, nothing I've talked about is you doing anything. So far, there's no doing or not doing. Everything's just kind of happening. Even the fact that consciousness gets distracted by the senses and by different things, you didn't do that. How do I know? Try and undo it. If you did something, it's easy to not do. Just don't do it. And you ain't doing this. These are natural forces, but you can pay attention. So the sleep part, guys, there's so much to talk about. How can I do it all, right? You do understand. Pratyahara is the first step of Patanjali Yoga Sutras for meditation. You can't meditate if you cannot withdraw your consciousness, your awareness from your senses, can you? Because they're drawn right down there. You just listen to what's going on. That's not meditation. So the first step is that ability. Most people would say, no, I can't do that. I don't have the ability. You do it every single night. Every single night. But how do I know that I'm just not conscious? Because you're aware of your dreams, aren't you? The same consciousness aware of the outside world is aware of the dreams. How do you know? When you wake up, you say, oh my God, I had this unbelievable dream. Who did? Me. The same me that was here and came back and went back. I experienced the whole thing, didn't I? It's the same consciousness. So basically, consciousness has the ability to focus or not focus. When it doesn't focus, its universe gets bigger. Not as big as an enlightened being yet, someday. By the way, that is a state of true enlightenment. That you are the consciousness, and that consciousness is not being distracted by the senses, is not being distracted by the mind's thoughts, is not being distracted by the heart's emotions. Doesn't mean they're not there, but it's not distracted by them. Well, then what happens to it? It ceases to contract. Remember, when you're distracted, you contract down to it. What if it ceased to contract? You realize that you are the universe. You realize what Christ said, my Father and I are one. You realize what Meher Baba said, man minus mind equals God. In other words, you already are God, but you're busy staring at this thing. It's human. You're busy staring. Are you busy staring at your thoughts? Are you busy staring at your thoughts? You're busy staring at your emotions? You're busy staring at every single sensation on your body and every single thing that when it comes in from the outside, it distracts you. You're always busy being distracted. Your consciousness is being drawn to whatever is making the most noise or making the biggest thing. If indeed that were not happening, you would find out who you are. This is not weird. I don't even like the word mystical. It's not mystical. If I say to you, stare at your finger, what do you see? My finger. Don't stare at your finger. What do you see? The rest. Stare at your mind. Stare at your emotions. Stare at your body. Stare at what's coming through your senses. What do you see? Me. What I think is me. Don't stare at any of them. What do you see? You will be. You don't see anything. You will be the consciousness that is looking down. And the root of that consciousness is the divinity. Those are the teachings. Didn't know I was going to go there. Okay? But how do you not? So then now what are we saying? I still said, where's the beef? The beef is that consciousness, oh my God, that consciousness is what is aware of everything. It's the same consciousness staring at your mind, your mind, your mind, your mind. Okay? Like the sun. It's the same sun that the rays are falling everywhere. So basically it's staring down. And what happens? Whatever it's aware of, if consciousness stares enough at something, it identifies with it. What does that mean? It starts to say, that's me. No, you never did that, did you? Right? Watch this. 5th grade, you played Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz. Now, is that you? Are you really Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz? No. I'm playing a part called Dorothy. It's an experience I had. My consciousness had the experience of playing Dorothy. How's that? Did you identify with that? Well, why would I identify with it? It was an experience I had. I had lots of experiences. Yeah, okay, so 10 years later, go back to a reunion and have somebody else say, yeah, you remember in 5th grade, I was Dorothy. See what happens. I was Dorothy. You identify with it. Somebody said to you, the other day I drove by that white line, right? I thought I had. I guess I didn't. It mean nothing to you. But because you focused on it and got involved in it, your consciousness started using the word I about this experience you had. I'm the one who was married here. Who are you? I'm so-and-so's wife, and I'm such and that. Somebody said to me, who are you? I'm George's wife. All right? Okay. And so you didn't exist before George. You can't be George's wife. I just asked you who you are, not what experience you had. I know you had the experience of meeting and marrying George, okay? But let's say you got divorced. Now you don't exist again. Well, you just said who you are. You defined yourself. I am this. That's my car. Well, what about when it was in the showroom before you bought it? Whose was it? No, not mine. Okay, so then you bought it. Now it's yours. Get away from my car. Get away from my George. All right, so... And so basically, consciousness becomes aware of objects. Which ones? The ones that are passing in front of it. And if it stares at them enough, gets involved with them enough, it identifies with them. And it starts identifying itself. Instead of being this divine, amazing thing called consciousness, it says, I am the one who lives in this house. I am the one who has this job. I am the one who loves so-and-so. I am. You're defining yourself by experiences you had. Has anybody ever loved somebody then not love them? Don't tell me. Okay? Then when you sit there and say, I'm the one who loves so-and-so, then what happens when you don't love them? I'm the one who doesn't love them anymore. That's hilarious. Your consciousness is focusing on objects of consciousness. Emotions, thoughts, experiences outside, those are objects of consciousness. They're things the consciousness experiences. And when the consciousness experiences them, it gets drawn down to focus on them. Ever try to do a complicated math equation inside your mind? Go on, multiply 15.3 times 72. Basically, what you're going to do is concentrate. You're going to focus your consciousness on those thought forms and try to move and carry the one. And you do it by concentrating. So you focus on that. You focus your consciousness. So some things you don't have to focus like that. Like George left you for your best friend. Do you have a lot of trouble thinking about that? He's gone. You don't have to think about it, do you? That's funny. It just keeps coming back, and you keep focusing on it, and you can't get it out of your mind. And so you identify with it. I'm the one that George broke my heart. How long do you hold on to that? My whole life. People do. So you focus on it, then you identify with it, then you define yourself as that. Okay, that, by the way, was the fall from the garden. You're the divine consciousness. You're everything. And you stared at that little fruit, whatever you want. It's called the tree of self-knowledge. You bothered identifying yourself as something you're not. So now I am the one who ate the apple. I'm the one who fell down. I'm the one who has this child. You just start identifying your consciousness with these tiny little things, and then you gather them together, and you say, this is me. I'm this package. Okay, so what's wrong with that? Nothing. It's just something that can happen, except, you know what happens? You're not okay when you do that. Now we're getting into doership, non-doership. We already painted non-doership, didn't we? Okay. Now, what does it mean for you to think you're the doer? It means I am now aware of, I was Dorothy, but now I'm not Dorothy. But I hold on to Dorothy, hold on to the concept of Dorothy, but now I want to always be seen as that, my self-concept, right? I built a self-concept out of these experiences I had, all right? Are they real? But they were real in that moment, but they're not real now. You're 43 years old. Who cares what you did when you were 5? It's not happening anymore. Your parents were divorced when you were 8 years old. What are you now? 68. Still bothering me. I still can't talk to them properly, and they died, and I never got it straightened out. I never told them how much they hurt me when they got through. What is the matter with you? It's not even happening. It doesn't exist anymore. They don't exist. It doesn't exist. But because you concentrated on it, and you identified with it, you built this thing in your mind called a self-concept that said, this is who I am. I'm the one that got hurt when my parents got divorced. I'm the one that my uncle, they liked my sister more than me. I'm the one that I got a B. I got a B when I wanted to get an A, and I didn't like the teacher anymore. And I tried to argue with them, and I got suspended. That's who I am. And no, it's not who you are. These are experiences that you had, and they're over, and they should be over. They should be over. You want a good thing to live by? If it's not happening outside anymore, it's not happening inside anymore. It's called reality. But we don't do that, do we? Okay, so what's the downside of having collected these things that are gone and built them inside your mind, and not only built them, said, this is who I am? Well, they weren't all comfortable, were they? And so you built this menagerie inside of yourself that basically said, I'm not okay. Why? I collected all the experience that ever bothered me and made me not okay, and made them part of my self-concept. I'm the one that's not okay. Not, I'm the one who dropped down to the planet Earth and this is awesome. No, I'm the one who's not okay. Why? Because this happened and that happened. You don't understand. This happened, right? I've collected all my not okays and then identify with them. Well, I identify with them. I told you. Consciousness, this totally pure consciousness that's in the ecstasy of God, is staring all the time at the collection of stuff you collected in your mind that says I'm not okay. And you know you say you're not okay. I don't care how positive you try to be. I like people who say, no, I do positive thinking. Why? Well, otherwise I'm not okay. All right? It's a struggle. Why is it a struggle? Because you are identified with this part that's not okay. We started talking about what's real. What's real is you're fine. It's awesome. It's unbelievable. But that's not your experience. Why? You're not even looking at the outside. You're not anymore. You're looking inside, seeing that you're not okay, way deep inside. Way deep inside, you're not okay. And then what's happening? You're trying to be okay. That's doership. That's doership. I'm in here staring at the part that's not okay, but I don't pay attention to that. Now, what can happen outside that will make me feel better? Who can I meet? How can I get married? How can I get divorced? What children can I have? What children do I not have to have? What kind of degree can I get? How can I have people like me? How can I look more beautiful or more handsome? How can I drive a neater car so people are jealous of me? What can I do to feel better? Now, can anybody relate to that? Please, what can I do to feel better? What can I do to feel better? What can I avoid to not feel worse? Now that's doership. Now you're busy. And you're busy every single second of your life from the moment you wake up. And while you're busy, when you sleep, you get nightmares. Either you dream what I would like to have, or you dream what, okay? You're basically staring at a party that's not okay. Are you not staring at a party that's not okay? Therefore, what do you do? I got to get busy making it be okay. How? I need you to like me. I need you to like me more than you like him. I need you to clap when I come in the room and not boo. I need you to think I'm good. Come on. That is the cause of all suffering. But you started off by messing it up, by staring at things. I can't even talk about it anymore. You are literally staring at everything that ever bothered you. Having soft spots, sensitive topics, things. You're staring at whatever bothered you, and then you're trying to figure out how to be okay. So you built your foundation on top of the worst part of, I don't even say the part of your being, because none of it is your being. You're the consciousness that's aware of all this. Which one of you know that at any moment it could fall apart? You all do. Why? Because it's fake. That's why it's called a self-concept. It's not called the self. It's called a concept of self. Something you made up that's not real and started to say, this is me. Now what do you need to do? You better agree that this is me. You're my friend. If you agree with who I said I am, all right? You're my friend. If you don't agree with who I said I am, you keep your distance from me, all right? Now we have to come down here into this world. I can't even say it. My mouth goes dry because it's so sad. We have to come down in this world that we did not make and that has nothing to do with us and we have no control over, really. You think you have control. Give me a break. We just said a moment ago, every moment in front of you is the result of all the forces throughout creation, time and space that cause it to be the way it is. You're not the doer of that, are you? But you want to be the doer of making it be the way you want. And now you wonder why it's tense. Now you wonder why there's anxiety. Now you wonder why you better make the right decisions or it won't be the way you want. How'd you come up with what you want? Based on my past experiences. How else would I get it? That's all I know with my past experiences. So if my past experience was pleasant, I want it to happen again. If my past experience was not pleasant, was really bad, I don't want it to happen again. So now I've built these concepts of like and dislike. It all happens. It's so big, and we're so lost that it's hard to talk about. I'm impressed you're still here. Seriously, who wants to talk about this? You want to go to a seminar on how to get what I want. What do I do? What do I change? What did I say? And you wonder why it's hard to live here on this beautiful planet in the middle of nowheres. That's the most beautiful. No one ever saw anything like it. Still with the James Webb or the Hubble, we haven't seen nothing that even comes, not in a protozoa, not an amoeba. We haven't seen anywheres. And we're looking hard. And look what you got. But no, I'm not okay. That's why you're not okay. You're not okay because you identified with what you stared at, and then you stored the ones that you didn't like. This is the funniest thing I've ever heard of. And you keep it down there. You keep it down there. I've now made a complete collection of everything that ever bothered me. And so now what? Now I'm bothered. Why? Because your consciousness is staring. I told you once, and I thought I'd get in big trouble by now, but I didn't yet, okay? But at some point, they'll come and get me. You are not depressed. No one is depressed. They're staring at depression. They're staring at a psyche that is completely dark, has no hope, doesn't see any way out, and it's painful. Why? Because you're staring at everything you collected that did that. You're staring at who left you, and who did this, and who died, and this thing, and you failed at this. They're not happening right now. Take somebody who's thoroughly depressed, take them to Disney World. Don't bother. Take someone who's really thoroughly depressed, and give really nice people, say nice things to them. They ain't going to hear nothing. Because all they're doing is staring at this thing they built inside themselves based on the collection of stuff, experience they had that they didn't let go of, they identified with, and now they're saying, look what they say, I am depressed. Whoa, I am. That's the verb to be. That's a powerful verb, the verb to be. It's defining who I am. You just define yourself as depression. No, if you want to sit there and say, I feel depressed, okay. I'm experiencing depression, okay. Not I am depressed. See the difference? If you say, I'm experiencing depression, there's the hope that you could experience something else. If you say, I am depression, it's over, baby. Because there's no way out. You just define yourself as what you're staring at, and what you're staring at is down. That goes for everything. If somebody hurts you and your heart hurts, or I sit there and say, I'm experiencing a hurt heart. Yes, you are. That's a true statement. Not I am hurt. You just defined yourself as hurt. You're in big trouble. You're not hurt. You're the consciousness. Your awareness of being. And what you're aware of right now is a hurt heart. I understand that. Like something you say that I really like. You say, my mind is driving me crazy. God, we express ourselves and we need to pay attention. That's actually very beautiful. That means you know you're not your mind. My mind, that's possessive ownership, my pocketbook, my car. You're not saying that's who I am. You're saying I own these things, okay? They have a relationship to me. There's a me that has a pocketbook. There's a me that has a mind. Isn't that beautiful? My mind is driving me crazy. You're saying I'm back here independent of the thing, and it's doing something that's bothering me. Good. Then you know you're not your mind. So now you're in here and you have built this thing inside yourself. And it is the most distracting thing in your life. Why? You collected everything that ever bothered you, everything that ever distracted you, the biggest things. And now it's sure distracting you. Make a collection of everything that ever bothered you and distracted you. You got in a car accident 15 years ago. Still distracts you. You hear a horn blow. You hear somebody skid. You weren't that way prior to 15 years ago. You stored it. Why? It distracted you. Therefore you stared at it. Therefore you identified with it. I'm the one that went with that thing. And so now it's still bothering you, isn't it? There's no dream about it. You still hear a car. Something happens. Okay? And so basically, of course now, if you store the biggest thing that ever distracted you before inside, it's going to keep distracting you. And you didn't store one. You stored God knows how many. And they're distracting you all the time. Therefore, I'm not okay. That's why you're not okay. It's not true that you're not okay. You're such an ananda. You're an ecstatic being. You're right now. You're an ecstatic being. You have no problems. You're whole and complete within yourself. All you're feeling is the flow of Shakti and spirit pouring through your being all the time. That's who you are. But you're staring at a collection that you made of the most distracting things that ever happened in your entire life. And you wonder why I don't feel okay. Of course you don't. So what do you do about it? Here's the clue. Now, again, remember, we're talking about doership, non-doership. All right? Now, you look at that, and you want to feel good. It's, the essence of your being. It's almost like you remember that it could be better, right? You say, I'm looking for love. How do you know there's anything called love? You know it can be better. And so what you do is you stare at this, and you hinder yourself. You handicap yourself by saying, how do I do better if I look through this? Here, my glasses got tinted and dark, and I can't see through them. How do I see well looking through these glasses? Take them off. No, don't clean them. They'll get dirty again. Take them off. Your consciousness does not have to look down and then look out. It does not have to look down through this menagerie you built and then look out into a world that you did not make and you do not control. I'm not saying you have no modicum of control. I'm going to argue that. But you didn't make it the moments in front of you. So now you come down, you look through the party that's not okay, and the only way you can figure out how to be okay is to make that world outside of you be the way you need it to be to offset the junk you held inside. You have to be this way, you have to be that. Don't you dare do that. And every little thing, the tiniest little thing. I told you, my favorite is this. You're in there, you're in a romantic moment, you're completely melted, you're so completely open. You say, oh, I love you. I love you so much. You wait. I love you. I love you so much. How you doing? It's starting to come back up, isn't it? All right? Like, whoa. I said, I love you so much. I've never loved anyone. Yeah, I love you too. It's over. That's how sensitive you are. You live in a universe. 1.3 million Earths fit inside the sun, and there's 300 billion suns, and you're freaking out over that? Yes, I am. Aren't I? And you've devoted your whole life to not have that happen. Or to have it, I love you so much. Oh, you don't understand. I've never loved anybody as much as I love you. I've given my life to you. Okay, that's good. Good boy. Good dog. So basically, look what's happening. You identified with this, and you came out into a world that it's big, it's going on everywhere, but you only care about the moment unfolding in front of you, which is really funny. And how do you care about it? As a panacea, a compensation to make you feel better because of the mess you stored inside yourself. And now, that's what's meant by doership. Now you're out there doing, aren't you? You're doing. You're forcing, manipulating, lying, cheating, stealing, doing whatever you do. You hear me? Most of you probably won't go that far. But net result is they go very far, don't they? Now, when I said to you the world is perfect and it's beautiful, well, why are there wars? I just told you. That's the only reason. War is not a natural thing. Hatred is not a natural thing. All this stuff, they're not natural things. That because your consciousness has identified with this part of you that's not okay, now for me to be okay, don't look at her. Who were you talking on the phone? Why were you talking so long? What is jealousy? I'm not okay. I trusted you to make me be okay. Behave yourself. And what does that mean, behave yourself? Be the way I need you to be so that I'm better than I was before I met you. Otherwise, why am I bothering? Right? And I am now going to come out. I'm going to come out and manipulate you and everybody else in my environment and the environment itself, everything, to be the way I need it to be so that I feel better. And to not be the way I don't want it to be so I feel worse. Well, that's really interesting, except that all of us had different experiences, therefore every single one of us has a different opinion of how it needs to be. Don't you dare think somebody agrees with you. They can't possibly. They had different experiences. It's so complicated that it's ridiculous. And you're staring at it. And different things turn you on and turn somebody else off. By the way, someone turned you on yesterday, turns you off today. Why? You had one experience in between that changed how you look at things. And now, how exactly are you going to be okay? You're not. Not that way. You're not going to be okay that way. You're going to create stress and anxiety. You're going to live in a state of fear, underlying fear. The strongest amongst you, that have the most money and the most power, are the most fearful. You have billions of dollars, right? You're Forbes' _1 richest person in the world, okay? Next year, you're number 2. Oh, my God. Don't you doubt it 1 second. There's no okayness when you're not okay. If what you're thinking, I'm not okay inside, and I will try to create an environment outside of me through power, manipulation, whatever it is, so that I'll be better inside, keep working, baby. Because the next moment's changing. And all it has to do is change in a way that doesn't match what you want, and there's trouble in there. Can you relate to this? Okay, you don't have to live like that. And like I say, that's doership. All the stuff you're doing to try to be okay is doership. And it's just absurd. Can it work a little bit? Of course it can. Of course you can feel lonely and need somebody. Just, wow, that's out of sight. Okay? And then you need something else. When was the last time that you got what you wanted and you never need anything else for the rest of your life? No, it's not going to happen. Because all you're doing is compensate for the mess you held inside. And if you get something to compensate for it, didn't get rid of the mess. It's just temporarily, it feels better while you're around. I love you so much. You came into my life. Ever since you're in my life, you feel so much better. Is it okay if you leave? Okay if you get involved with somebody else? Okay if all of a sudden you come home tomorrow and you're a totally different person than you were when you left? So I'm not done. I'm not done with you. Okay, you made me feel better. Go back to the way you were, and don't say things like that, and don't do that. And no, don't take that job because you might meet somebody you like better than me. And I don't. No one can relate. Okay, there is no win in this game of doership, because what you're doing is attempting to manipulate a world that has nothing to do with you. Really, it has to do with itself. You can influence it. I guarantee you. There's no way you're making every moment unfold in front of you the way you want it to be. Not to mention even a year or anything, bigger pieces, right? It ain't happening. And you know it. You know it can fall apart. Has it ever fallen apart? Has it ever fallen apart on you where you didn't even know what to do? I want you to understand, that's fake what you built in there. Something that's real doesn't fall apart. Just with a whim, by the way. It fell apart. So it takes it. And you're living on top of that sinkhole. And you're trying to make sure you don't fall in. What kind of life is that? It's terrible. It's scary. It's absurd. And that's why the world is the way it is. Not because of this or that or some little thing you can point at for a moment. All right, somebody's got this viewer, that viewer. No, it's because people are not okay because they did everything we talked about before. Now they can't appreciate what's happening in front of them unless it's exactly the way they want it to be, to offset what's wrong with them. And it's never that way, so they're always struggling. And then they get together in little groups. Well, I don't agree with you totally, but let's agree about this. And we'll build power together. And we'll just go out there and manipulate everybody else. based on the power. Isn't that what's happening? Yes or no? You're doing it too. Okay. That's doership. And they can't hear. They can't hear, but you can. Does it have to be like that? No. Of course it doesn't have to be like that. I just explained to you how it got like that. Just work your way back. All right? It's not going to be okay because you made it be okay. I know you think if the world will be the way I want it to be, somebody else is sitting right there thinking the world will be they want it to be, and it's the whole opposite of what you said. So that statement, if the world would just be the way I want it to be, everything would be okay. No, if the world was the way you want it to be, there'd be war with the person who doesn't want it to be that way. Go deeper. Understand what's going on. And you understand, okay, the problem is not the world. I mean, of course it's a mess. Because I just told you, how could it not be? We're all fighting with each other. We all have different ideas of how it needs to be, and then we fight, and it causes all kinds of tension and anxiety, and that makes us more not okay. So basically, what's the answer? The answer is at least one of you. It takes at least one of you. Stop it. Stop what? That entire process. How? Understand that all you're doing is I'm not okay, and I'm trying to use the world in front of me to make me be okay. That's a problem. That's a problem. But it can make me feel better. You check it out. I don't want to talk about it. See how long it lasts. See how good it really makes you feel. Or whether to get what you want creates fear that you'll lose it or you want it again. There's no win in that game. So what's the alternative? Work on yourself. What does that mean? Go and see that you stored all this garbage inside of you. It distracted your consciousness, and it is sure as heck distracting your consciousness now. Those things that bothered you before are still in there distracting your consciousness. And instead of going out to try to compensate, learn how to not do that. I'm going to cry. But I don't know how to not. I know you don't know how. You were never taught. You were taught how to go out there and manipulate. So instead, why do you want anything? Why do you care that it's raining today or not raining today? Why do you care if this person is attracted to you or not attracted to you? That's a good one. Why do you care if people like you or don't like you? You're sitting on a planet in the middle of nowhere for a few years. Give me a break. Plus, the fact that they like you or don't like you is determined by how you hit their stuff. There's not something holy that someone likes you. It just means somehow the way you are being right now hits their stuff in a way that makes them feel better. So they like you. Don't worry, tomorrow they won't. And then you can worry about why. Do you really want to live like that? I don't want you to live like that. I don't want you to live like that because I know there's another way to live. And so you come inside and you see this is a mess in here and I can't handle it. Why? I didn't handle it when it happened. That's why I shoved it down there. It distracted me that much. And so now it's still in there bothering me. Okay, so start to work with yourself. And I know time out of time, if you read Living Untethered, my new book, it literally lays down techniques, learning experience that you can do from the simplest thing to the more complicated, how you can learn to not do this. How you can learn to say, okay, I got all this garbage in here. It hurts every time it goes back up. Of course it does. So I shove it back down. Okay, this is not working out so good. What do? Start practicing not putting more in there. That's my teaching. You sit there and say, okay, I need to learn to not do that. To not do what? To not get so distracted by something that I bother to store it inside of me again and just keep putting more stuff in there. How do I do that? You start today by saying in the morning, I'm not going to put more in there today. I may not be able to get rid of the stuff that's in there, but it doesn't do much good if I put more in there. I ain't putting more in there today. I'm going to handle today without putting stuff in there. How do I know I can do that? You start with the simplest things. It's raining. I don't want it to be raining. Oh, I don't like to drive in the rain. I think you can handle that. No, yes, you can. You can. You can use affirmation. I love the rain. It makes the plants grow. It gives me food. You can do anything you want. You don't have to sit there and get neurotic about the fact that it's raining when you're driving or when you have to get out of the car to deliver something, you're going to get wet. You get wet every time you take a shower. Don't worry about it. You can take these small little things that you're not bothering paying attention to and realize I do not have to continue the process of not liking the earth, not liking things unless they're the way my stuff wants them to be. I can learn to appreciate, to honor. I was the driver in front of you. Okay, they're driving the way they're driving. They're not driving the way you want to drive. Can you handle it? Or do you have to complain about it? Do you have to talk to them? They don't hear you. Believe it or not, that's how you do this. You learn to appreciate, start by handling. You learn to handle the moments unfolding in front of you, especially if they're not a big deal. And most of them are not a big deal. Hey, Susie, you shouldn't turn around and say hello. So what? I tell everybody, there's 8.5 billion people that didn't say hello to you either. Can you handle it? Not do I want to, not was it right or wrong. Can you handle reality? Can you handle it? And you start saying, of course I can. And you learn to let go of the resistance and struggle you're creating inside yourself for no reason, or the stupidest little things. And then to close it down really quickly, you learn to do that, next thing, something's going to happen a little bit bigger. You'll do the same thing. And you can do it. Then you'll find out if something comes up that hadn't come up for years, and you'll look at it, and it'll start to get pulled down into it. Remember, consciousness gets drawn down to the loudest noise, and you'll stop. Not suppress, not push it away. You'll stop going down there. You'll just let go. Okay, come on up. I don't want you in there. Do you want that junk in there? We just talk about what it does to your whole life. I don't want it in there. But it hurts when it comes back up. Of course it hurts. It was stored with pain. It's coming back with pain. But it's the pain that ends all pain. If you relax through it, that's what I teach. Relax. Just relax when it's happening. And little by little, it'll go. And then all of a sudden, you start feeling this beautiful energy welling up inside of you. What? That's your natural state. All you did was stop blocking the energy that is the divine force. Man was created in the image of God. What does that mean? In ecstasy. You're the most beautiful thing that could ever be. So little by little, you let go, you let go, you let go. And all of a sudden, and I'll stop here. It's hard to stop because I really want to communicate with you, right? Now let's go back to doership and non-doership. Now there is no reason for you to play that game of personal doership. You're okay. When you're filled with love, you just want to feel the love. I don't want to go out there and do something. I don't need to find love. I feel love. When you feel joy, when you feel peace, when you feel God, you don't have to do anything. You're experiencing it. All right, so that personal doership that was driven by you not being okay falls off by itself. But does that mean I renounce everything? Why would you renounce everything? It's not bothering you. You only renounce that was just bothering you. I'm not okay, and I think you'll make me be okay, but I'm a monk. I'm going to renounce my relationship with you. I don't understand. Basically, why don't you just let go of the part of you that's not okay, that needs something, and then you don't have to renounce anything. You just, life unfolds, you're there with it. Now there's no doership or non-doership inside of you. Do things happen? Of course they happen. You're not making the world go round. You don't make the earth spin. It all goes on anyways. But how do I know what to do? It presents itself in front of you. You feel all this love and inspiration. How would you like that? There's no decisions. It presents itself in front of you, and you feel love and inspiration, and you want to express the love, and it just flows out. It's the Tao. It just unfolds. You're in harmony with the universe. Nothing has to be a certain way. You're just serving the moments that are unfolding in front of you. All right. So we had a long, deep talk that's centered on doership and non-doership. Because if I just had started by saying, well, should I do this or not do this? People are saying, I don't understand. Should I do this or not do this? I can't decide. I'm not going to answer you. I love you, but I'm not going to talk about it. It's like you came to me and said, well, I don't like this person. Should I hurt them this way or that way? Maybe you need to deal with the fact you don't like them, right? Instead of what you're going to do about it. It's the same thing here. I can't decide what to do. Should I take a gap year or go back to school? Should I get married now or should I wait till... I'm not answering you. I'm not answering you. Ever. I will never ever answer you. Why? Why do you care? Uh-oh. You're going to be in big trouble if I say that to you. Like, well, of course I care. That's because you're not okay, and you're trying to see which one will make you feel better. If you are okay, it's just life unfolding. You're fine. There's no tension. There's no anxiety. There's just this dance with creation, and you're doing that dance, and it's beautiful, and it's wonderful. Can there be pain? Of course there can be pain. Somebody you love dies, you feel lost. That's part of the beauty of life, that you have a heart that can feel things. But you're not suppressing it, you're not freaking out over it. It's just an experience of life. And everything flows. There's neither doership nor non-doership. You're neither doing it because you have to, nor not doing it because you're afraid to. You're just in harmony with the being. All right. It's a deep topic. Thank you for listening. Jai Gurudev.